We have arguably, in a year that has been very wide as far as the berth and teams in Class A, so many teams that had a chance to win this title, maybe our best matchup. The team that started the season as preseason #1 against the team that has spent most of the season at #1. Omaha Creighton Prep has overcome quite a bit already this year. John Karhoff was expected to be the best, or pretty darn close to one of the best inside players in the state. He never could get back from ACL surgery. They played the whole season without him, and yet Prep has made it here to the state championship, trying to claim an 11th crown and their first in 15 years. Can they do it against upstart Lincoln Southwest? We'll find out next from the Devaney Center.
Hello, I'm Jeff Beckman here in our NET studio. For many years, my family and I would spend hours watching the NSAA championships on NET, unless we were at the Devaney Center in person. And now, for the past 3 seasons, I've been with NET, and I'm still watching championships with you, once again, if I'm not at the Devaney Center. Well, watching these championships during March Madness is truly a highlight of the year for all of us.
Jeff, our family has also watched the high school championships on NET, our season ticket at home. Like the cranes flying back into central Nebraska, the basketball tournaments on NET are a sign that spring is just around the corner.
Well, you know, Jenny, you mentioned something about a season ticket at home. NET takes great pride in delivering sports programming into homes across Nebraska, yet the costs of carrying sports action continues to grow during a time when state and federal funding is plateauing and even declining. Now, in order to continue bringing you 200 hours of sports action annually on NET, we're going to need private financial support. Today, you have an opportunity to support NET and receive some very nice benefits.
We've created the Sports Partners Club to enhance your experience of college and high school sports through your involvement with NET Sports. As a Sports Partners Club member, you'll enjoy a long list of benefits, and you'll be invited to a special breakfast hosted by Adrian Fiala prior to the opening of the football season. You'll also be invited to a number of tailgate parties, including ones prior to the Nebraska-Creighton baseball games, and you'll receive a special Sports Partners e-newsletter. You can receive your special gifts and be added to our invitation list for the tailgate parties at Creighton, UNO, UNL, and UNK events by logging on now to this website or calling me during regular business hours.
Be a sports partner. Call me now. I'm anxious to sign up more supporters so we can continue to bring you the best sports action on NET year after year. Now, today we have 1,000 members, and during the NSAA championships, over 100,000 sports fans tune into NET. That means that 1% of our viewers are committing financial support. Now, imagine what we could do if even 10% of you watching right now join the Sports Partners Club. I'm challenging you right now to log on to our website, or you can call our customer service line and leave your name and number. We'll call you back within the next business day. Now, if you've logged on, called in, or you're already a member of the Sports Partners Club, thank you for your support. And now let's get back to the NSAA championships on NET.
Well, Creighton Prep, we told you about in our last segment, 21-5 overall. They have overcome some injuries to make it here to the championship game, trying to win that 11th state championship. But on the other side for Lincoln Southwest, just their 7th year of existence, they've already played in a football final, didn't win there, but arguably they have a better chance here today. They've been the hottest team in Class A in what has been a very balanced year in Class A.
Yeah, Lincoln Southwest, it's strange that they've had the year they've had, but yet not everybody was saying they're the team to beat in Class A. Instead, the argument was it's a wide open field. The Silverhawks, no slouch. They're riding an extremely long winning streak that is now at 19 games. Their last loss, in fact, came to Lincoln North Star in December, and it was on a 3/4 court short heave. So LSW with a ton of momentum heading into today's ballgame.
These two teams have played before, and in fact, it was that second game of the year in which Southwest started to believe, because last year they were just a 500 team, still a growing program under head coach Dwayne Bach. But it was that game that gave them the confidence that they could compete with anybody, because at that point, Prep was considered the favorites to be in this game. And yes, they are here, but Southwest has been building confidence ever since.
Yeah, the Silverhawks have been getting better and better and better. It's a team that's extremely deep. So over the course of this 19-game winning streak, they really built a lot of momentum, and the confidence is at an all-time high for Lincoln Southwest.
This should be a really good Class A championship, and it's coming up next on NET and 1011.
Soy biodiesel from Nebraska soybeans lowers our dependence on foreign oil. It has properties that reduce engine wear, and it burns without harmfully polluting the atmosphere. The Nebraska Soybean Board encourages the use of soy biodiesel.
Programming provided by Nebraska Public Power District.
My job as an engineer for the Nebraska Public Power District is rewarding. My education and technical skills are used every day to help generate electricity for Nebraskans. And I feel good because I believe that what I do maintains the state's quality of life. NPPD is where I want to be.
Nebraska Public Power District. Always there when you need us. Together with your local public power utility.
And liftoff.
I was born to do this.
Atlantis.
I have a huge heritage here, and I'm very proud to be home. Thanks.
Watch NET's production of Homemade Astronaut, the Clay Anderson story, coming in June on NET1 and NET HD.
Lincoln Southwest and Omaha Creighton Prep in the Class A championship here from the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Not only a battle between teams that almost seem to be poised and destined to meet in this championship at season's end, but also maybe two of the better student sections in the entire state. Really good turnout by the Southwest student body. And of course, Creighton Prep, well, they're all about school spirit. As you take a look at the sea of white, will they be changing shirts as they were yesterday or not? Look at it, it stretches all the way up to the upper reaches of the Devaney Center, and that's a school that has about 1,400 enrollment. I think just about every student, if they're not playing, they are definitely participating in one way or another. And for Creighton Prep, well, like I said, these kids will follow their team to the gates, if you know what I'm saying. And their birdcage closed down this year, so they want to send it out in championship fashion. Let's meet the Silverhawks and the Junior Jays. It's the Class A championship. Here's Doc Weiniger.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Nebraska School Activities Association, its member schools, and U.S. Bank, welcome to the Bob Devaney Sports Center for the Class A State Championship game. Today's game features the Creighton Prep Junior Jays versus the Silverhawks of Lincoln Southwest High School. And now, let's meet the players and coaches competing in today's game. First, the non-starters for the visiting team, the Creighton Prep Junior Jays. Number 1, Alex Hook. Number 3, Tim Gregg. Number 4, John Paul Franco. Number 24, Nick Davis. Number 33, Sam Setter. Number 44, Steven Sudica. And number 50, Scott Chris. And now, the non-starters for the home team, the Lincoln Southwest Silverhawks. Number 10, Jordan Tyrants. Number 12, Nathan Van Loo. Number 15, Jeff Siebel. Number 23, Rylan Cotton. Number 30, Devin Douglas Wiley. Number 32, Ross Kramer. Number 45, Dylan Heed. And now, the starting lineup for the Creighton Prep Junior Jays. A 6'5", senior number 0, Brett Potter. A 6'1", junior number 12, Caleb Steffensmeyer. A 6'2", senior number 15, Max Herder. A 6'2", senior number 21, Taylor Stormberg. And a 6'3", junior number 30, Cole Martin. Head coach for the Junior Jays is Josh Lukey, assisted by Eric Thompson, Scott Siverson, Nick Savela, Bernie Moore, and Lonnie Brazil. And now, the starting lineup for the Southwest Silverhawks. A 5'8", junior number 3, Drew Edmond. A 6'2", senior number 4, Garrett Nitz. A 6'5", senior number 5, Kyle Headley. A 6'2", senior number 20, Ethan Tompkins. And a 6'8", senior number 33, Jake Marvin. Head coach for the Silverhawks is Dwayne Bach, assisted by Matt Zychek, Kyle Schumann, Chris Johnson, Tony Kobza, Brandon Kosler, Kevin James, and Jason Chapman. Today's game officials are Todd Brocious, Chris Mrachek, and Jeff Wolf. And now, gentlemen, let's play basketball.
Well, here are the two teams. Creighton Prep. We've had 99 state tournaments. They've been in 51 of them, so you do the math. They've been in more than half. Lincoln Southwest, on the other hand, trying to become the first Class A team since Lincoln East in 1971 to make their first trip to state, one that goes all the way in the modern era. We take a look at the bracket. Lincoln Southwest in a thriller win over Omaha Bryan. The thriller for Creighton Prep came on day one when Brett Potter, no timeout was called. Lincoln High got a 3 to tie the game. They came right back down the floor. Forget about the timeout. Josh Lukey said, we're not taking timeouts. We're going for the win. They did. Brett Potter with the layup, and they eliminate Lincoln High. And then yesterday, they routed Lincoln Southeast. We're ready for basketball. This should be a good one.
Both these teams have looked very impressive at state. And honestly, John, it's a flip of a coin as to who the quote-unquote favorite would be in this ball game.
You would think that the prep players, because they've been in state tournaments, this is their 5th straight year in the tournament, might be a little better off. But, you know, once you get past that first day, and that was one of the knocks against Southwest, was none of these kids have been in the state tournament game before. As the first shot goes down for Ethan Tompkins, he rolls one home from the free throw line. But once you get that first game out from underneath your belt, you're fine. You are ready to play. So I don't know if experience so much is going to be a factor. Driving layup is good by Taylor Stormberg, who is big from outside the arc. This time he's big inside the lane.
Yeah, Prep shot extremely well here at the state tournament so far over the past few days, most notably yesterday in the second quarter, where they just had a string of threes that opened up that game against Lincoln Southeast in the semifinals.
One of the other things that you'll probably notice about these teams, very unselfish. There's really no one go-to player or two real key scorers on either team. Both teams have good benches. Neither team really has that one person that you have to account for.
Both teams have really good defensive players as well.
Kyle Headley drains the 3. And Southwest 2 for their first 2 from the floor.
The hand in Headley's face, still knocks down the J from beyond the arc.
A drive in and a kick out. Steffensmeyer and around to Stormberg. Looking up and under Cole Martin. Had thought about it for three, but Steffensmeyer decided against it. Nice little bounce pass underneath, but it was just a little too low, trying to get it into Brett Potter, and it fumbles out of bounds. Turnover against the Jays. Silverhawk basketball.
Excellent crowd here for the Class A championship game. John, you already talked about these student sections, completely filled, but then you look across the entire Devaney Center. Excellent turnout for this title contest.
Southwest, and even in their short 7 years, supports their teams very well. Little floater in the lane. Jake Marvin asserting himself early on, and it's 7-2.
Southwest
in favor of the Silverhawks.
The Silverhawks offense looks fantastic here, operating at a very high efficiency.
Runner missed, but that's going to mean free throws for Max Herter. And it's Jake Marvin with the foul. We'll watch it again. Marvin, the biggest of the Silverhawk players, draws that foul. Be fascinating to watch how he handles along with Brett Potter. He's got a couple inches on Brett Potter, but he is definitely the tallest player on the floor. Shooting into that sea of white. Missed them both.
I've got to think that the student section plays a major role in that.
Well, both student sections were very good at distracting their opponents yesterday, Prep and Southwest.
Some very interesting tactics that we will touch on a little bit later.
The ball got pinned up between the rim and the glass, but the foul was called. Here it is again.
Garrett Nitz with a nice drive and dish off. But Prep closed defensively in a hurry.
Miss the front. Now remember, they only shoot into the opposing student sections in the first half, so they can only work so much at the free throw line, but so far no one's been able to make a free throw.
You see the bird cage.
They bring the bird cage south. They're changing out gyms next year at Creighton Prep. They close the old bird cage. And they're going to call the block or the charge. They call the charge.
Well, two officials whistled. The official from underneath the basket, his call was the one that was made. He said he signaled charge. The other one blew the whistle as to there was a foul, but didn't make an initial call, block or charge.
It was the official behind the play that made the call and whose call stuck.
Right at a great angle as to if the Southwest defender was set.
From the corner. Three is up, no good. High leaping rebound for Headley, and he walked with it. Came down and was juggling, kind of looking at his fingers a little bit. Maybe needs a little chalk.
Creighton Prep is making sure they're accounting for Jake Marvin at all times, whether it be on the glass, offensively, defensively. There always seems to be a body around big number 33 for LSW. Marvin, a fantastic post player, one of the best in the state. Averages about 11 points a game, 9 rebounds. Very fundamentally sound.
We had a look a moment ago at head coach Dwayne Bach, the second head coach in the 7-year history of Lincoln Southwest. Foul against the Silverhawks. And I think that one's going to be on Garrett Nitz. There's Dwayne. He's been very successful in his brief tenure with Lincoln Southwest. Finished just above 500 last year, and of course this year the 23-2 season. 7-2 our score. Southwest off to the good early lead. Prep not nearly as hot as they were yesterday. They got off to a good offensive start. There's a block. It comes down in the hands of Drew Edmond.
Good block by Stormberg. He started running down the floor, hoping that the Jays would get off in transition.
Rolls out no good by Headley. Rebound.
Great rebounding team. Look at the box out there. Nicholas Davis.
Prep can be physical. It kind of takes off of their head coach, Josh Lukey, a former football star. Played once upon a time for the old Lincoln Lightning that used to call their home right here in the capital city. He was their quarterback. They can be a little tough. In fact, that's been kind of the knock on Lukey was, well, he's a football guy and coaching basketball, but I think he's starting to silence those critics. Driver by Edmond, turned away by Prep's Caleb Steffensmeyer. And here come the Junior Jays, wanting to run. 3-ball on the way. It rolls off no good. Marvin with the rebound for the Hawks.
Yeah, perhaps some cool shooting so far. Not getting the shots to fall as they've been used to here at the state tournament.
One out of their first 5, by the way, Kevin.
Lincoln Southwest waiting to check in 3 more players. We'll see the Silverhawks rotate several players. They go about 8, 9 deep. And the guys they bring off the bench, pretty talented too.
Looking for Marvin. Turnaround. No.
Good straight up defense by Davis.
Brett Potter with the rebound for the Jays, who want to run. Little hop step underneath. No, still can't buy a bucket. Creighton Prep has had some looks, but they are not getting him to fall early on. That's going to be a walk. Garrett Nitz with too many steps. And with that, we'll take a timeout. 3:15 left to go in the first. We're just underway in Class A.
Programming on NET television is made possible in part by U.S. Bank. The U.S. Bancorp Foundation supports charitable, educational, and community service-oriented organizations in communities across Nebraska and the nation. U.S. Bank employees dedicate their time and efforts to local causes they are truly passionate about. U.S. Bank. Wherever you go, you'll find us.
Did you know 43% of Nebraska high school students drank last month? Parents, enough is enough.
Well, today, many of the faces painted as clowns in the Southwest student section. They've had a different gimmick for every day. Yesterday, they were changing shirts between periods.
We could still see that. At least we know they start out in the all-white.
There's a 3 from the top of the key. Rolls out again. Still cold shooting by the Junior Jays as Alex Hook can't get that one to fall. That one's going to be well short by Martin. And here come the Hawks. Still 7-2. Have been stuck on this score for a while.
Prep shooting under 15% after those pair of misses.
Ryland Cotton, this is a very deep bench for Lincoln Southwest. You've got Cotton, Tyrants with the ball right now, number 10, and then watch for number 30, Devin Douglas Wiley down in the blocks right now. This is a really good bench for Lincoln Southwest. A driver and kick out of bounds. Edmond trying to make something happen there.
I think all those 3 bench players for Lincoln Southwest could very well be starters on most other Class A teams. Jordan Tyrant's very athletic. Devin Douglas Wiley, a solid post player. And then Cotton, he can deliver some big threes from beyond the arc.
Yeah, Douglas Wiley's actually the 2nd leading scorer on this team, even though he does not start.
It's almost like in hockey, a line shift gives you almost a completely different look. This is almost their power play team trying to get some points generated.
Douglas Wiley setting the pick. Tyrants with the drive. Offensive foul. They're going to call that one on Douglas Wiley. And that'll be the 2nd team foul, I believe. Nope, 3rd team foul against the Silverhawks. 2:20 left here in the first period.
Well, Prep's been stuck on this too for quite a while. They've gotten some open looks. So far in the early going, the Junior Jays, their shots just are not falling.
Yeah, they got to feel fortunate to only be down 5 right here. 1 for their first 8. Martin was held up. That's going to be on Ryland Cotton. And that'll be his first. Southwest just 3 of their first 9, but one of those was a tray. Back into the game comes Caleb Steffensmeyer, 6'1" junior guard. Stormberg leads the Jays at an 11.7 point per game average. Brett Potter, their post player at 11, is the only 2 players that average in double figures. Both teams, though, as we said, very unselfish play. Really a hallmark of what Class A has been this year. Not a lot of standout individual players. All of it done the team way.
Yeah, it hasn't. There isn't that Matt Hill, Josh Jones, Antoine Young. We've seen those names over recent memory. This year, there really isn't that standout name. Instead, we get a balance from start to finish in Class A. It's really been a huge question mark, and as you mentioned, great team play.
A drive in, a nice play by Max Herter, creating for himself, and the Jays finally get back on the board. It's 7-4. A look in, and that runner was missed by Cotton. Now here come the Jays. They want to run with it. From behind, though, Douglas Wiley pokes it out. But he won't be able to get the possession for the Silverhawks.
From behind, Douglas Wiley able to just poke that basketball away. About even numbers, Prep moving in transition. Instead, they'll get the basketball on the inbound. Trailing by 3. As you mentioned, John. Junior Jays should be awfully happy. They're down by just 3.
Southwest has gone very cold. They haven't made a bucket here since the 6:13 mark to play. So they're 5+ minutes without points. Hook. 3 on the way for the tie, and it's good. Steffensmeyer. And it's a 5-0 run for the Junior Jays here as we crawl under a minute to go in the first period.
That started with a nice little dribble drive by Hook. Quick dish off just to give Steffensmeyer just enough space to get up for that 3.
Garrett Nitz holding, waiting for a pick. And now Cotton. 30 seconds left.
Maybe holding for this final shot of the quarter.
Oh, they call the walk. He said his pivot foot was down, but no such luck. Nitz commits the turnover. He said my foot was down. Official says no. And the Junior Jays will get a chance to play for the last shot. That's the 4th turnover on Lincoln Southwest. And back into the game, Taylor Stormberg. Good 3-point shooter. He'll trigger it in on the inbound. So Southwest going really cold here over the last 6 minutes of the first quarter, and that's allowed the Junior Jays to have a shot for the lead here going into the second period.
Pretty shocked we have a low-scoring game here in the first quarter. Both these teams put up some high numbers here at the state tournament.
Well, Southwest came out and made 3 out of their first 4 shots. 3 seconds left, 3 on the way. 2 strong, rebound Tyrants, and that'll do it. First period's in the books. We're tied at 7 in the Class A championship.
College doesn't just happen. You have to be a pain in a good way. Find someone to help you, like your mom, dad, guidance counselor, or teacher. Keep asking until you find someone who will. There were adults in my life who made sure I took the right classes in high school and helped me apply for scholarships. Thanks to them, I got into a great school. Someone will help you too. All you have to do is ask. This is one time where it's okay to be a pain.
Programming made possible by Time Warner Cable, supporting local performing arts and arts education with projects like Adventure Lead and our annual Arts Immersion Project. Time Warner Cable, the power of you.
Center, where we'll enter the second quarter tied at 7. Now, just to clear up any confusion, if you think you see Bo Pelini running up and down the sidelines, you do not. It is a referee by the name of Todd Brocious. I asked him about it. He said, you know what, people do say I look like Bo Pelini, but when I was younger, they said I looked like Tom Cruise. I don't know if those two look alike, but I asked him about it. He said he gets the Bo Pelini thing all the time, guys.
Well, Todd Brocious, one of our 3 officials working here today in this Class A championship game. Prep and Southwest all knotted up at 7 as we start the second quarter, and the Junior Jays with a chance to take their first lead of the game. Steffensmeyer.
Might have gotten away with the walk there. That pivot foot came pretty close to leaving the floor.
Well, either way, it's going to be a turnover because Nick Davis just kicked it off his foot and out of bounds. So a turnover against the Jays. That's their 3rd, and here come Lincoln Southwest. Nearly 7 minutes without a field goal in this game. Marvin for 3. No.
Thought twice about it, still went for it. Lincoln Southwest just having some troubles offensively.
And driving in and drawing the contact was Stormberg, and he'll go to the line to shoot a pair. Foul will be on Kyle Headley. And we're about to see our first dose of Green Man in the student section.
The entire student body for Lincoln Southwest just sat down, and one guy is standing up, and he's got a crazy green outfit on.
You can see him in the distance there. And that's the first free throw made into Green Man in 2 days. Now they'll cover him up. Brett Potter, give him some, excuse me, not Potter, but Stormberg, and now
he does the Green Man does a shadow dance, which is rather entertaining.
Hey, give some credit. Stormberg said, who cares? It's just another guy in a funny green suit. Like, I haven't seen strange things before. Prep with their first lead. 3 back the other way. No, it's too short. Tompkins, and the Southwest cold streak continues. Pull up jumper, no. Rebound Tompkins. And now it's Edmond. Nearly a full quarter without a bucket. Will it end here? Yes. And appropriately enough, it's Kyle Headley who drained the 3 early in that first quarter. And Southwest is back on the board. We're tied at 9.
Good defense by Garrett Nitz.
Very
falling back a little bit, got his hand in there, stripped the ball free.
And he stayed in bounds as well. Bounce pass underneath. Headley takes it up and scores.
Silverhawks want points, just get the ball to Headley. Right now he has 7 of LSW's 11.
Well, Headley averages almost 7 a game, but like we said, very balanced scoring up and down the order for Lincoln Southwest. Driving off the glass, Alex Hook. Hook pretty important. He was injured for part of the season as well. Very important point man for for Omaha Creighton Prep.
Yeah, Hook can do so many different things in terms of his scoring, but more importantly, his ability to create. A lot of players turn to him for that floor leadership. He certainly provides it.
Now Southwest will think better of it and back it up. So far, haven't heard much from Jake Marvin. He's got 2 points early in this one, but been moving him around a lot, and he has not had too many opportunities. Now he has it beyond the arc. His last field goal attempt was a 3-pointer.
Caleb Steffensmeyer for Creighton Prep is doing an excellent job guarding Drew Edmond, the point guard for Lincoln Southwest. Edmond likes to create off the dribble, but he's not been able to get into the lane. Few opportunities to penetrate.
Well, it was a good idea by Nitz to feed Headley on the baseline, but the jump shot no good, and still cold shooting really by both teams. Both teams less than 35% from the floor. Stormberg. Stopped on the dribble. Now to Potter. Under 5 minutes to play in the first half. We're tied at 11. 3 on the way. That's going to be too strong. And Headley been very active so far in this game. 7 points now, 3 rebounds. They run the floor, and Tompkins finishes.
Nice adjustment midair by Tompkins. Went up strong on the left side of the rim. Readjusted in midair, went about straight on in terms of his finger roll with the rim.
Good spin move in the lane by Brett Potter, getting around the taller Jake Marvin. Thought about it from 3 for a moment. And now Edmond has it out beyond the arc. Halfway home here in the second quarter.
I had a feeling Marvin was going to do that. ISO'd one-on-one.
Somehow he came up with it. Ball tipped out of bounds, and Southwest getting other opportunities right now. Rebounds 14-10 in favor of Lincoln Southwest. Got themselves at least an extra possession right here. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back in the Class A championship.
You're on vacation in the mountains. You've got the kids, the dog, and your tent. Your son says hiking is lame, so you try rock climbing. It ends up being harder than it looks. Now you're in the hospital wishing you'd stayed home. But you've got Blue Cross and Blue Shield, so you know you're covered, even though you're out of state. So you relax, which is why you went on vacation in the first place. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. One less thing to worry about.
Programming on NET television is provided in part by Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us, together with your local public power utility. By Time Warner Cable, supporting local high school athletics and arts education in the communities we serve. And by Nebraska Soybean Board, encouraging the use of renewable biodiesel fuels for a healthier environment. For information, nebraskasoybeans.org.
Welcome back to the Devaney Center, where Lincoln Southwest just broke their cold streak earlier this week. They were fighting the flu bug. 6 of their players were under the weather. They actually had a giant bottle of Purell at practice, and guys, it was common practice, just wash your hands after every drill. They said Jake Marvin started it and got everybody else sick, but they look to be doing okay right now. They're all over the flu.
Oh, sure, blame the big guy.
There's got to be a lot of germs being passed around just shooting basketballs at practice, right?
Absolutely. I don't think, how much Purell do you go through? Douglas Wiley nearly turned it over. Marvin will shoot the 3. That's too strong. Douglas Wiley, another opportunity for the Silverhawks, trying to muscle his way up. No, and Prep will finally come down with a basketball. Well, Southwest had their chances, but could not score, and now back the other way. Here come the Jays. We got a foul on Prep. And boy, we're getting a little bit of tough talk right now, as Potter pointing at Douglas Wiley, saying it should be on him. Here it is again, and they're going to say that Potter pushed in on the back of Douglas Wiley to get rebound position. That's the 3rd team foul on the Junior Jays, 5 on the Silverhawks.
That's a rare call, something you don't see all that often. Junior Jay fans not too happy with it.
That ball was tipped and turned over, so Southwest having some problems handling the ball here early on, but right back at you. Turnover against the Jays.
Now Kyle Headley is out of the ball game for Lincoln Southwest. Remember, Headley has 7 points right now. It's over half for Lincoln Southwest.
Tyrants. 3-second call. Devin Douglas Wiley. And Dwayne Bach will greet his team in the huddle as we go to break. Low-scoring affair here in Class A.
Programming on NET television is provided in part by U.S. Bank, measuring success through performance, pride, products, and people, backed by a 5-star service guarantee. U.S. Bank, member FDIC. By Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska, one less thing to worry about. By Education Quest Foundation, improving access to college through scholarships, grants, and college planning services. And by Nebraska Office of Highway Safety. Please remember that if you drink and drive, you lose.
We knew the battle was going to come.
I figured I could make a stand here.
We are united in one common cause.
He had a vision. These lands are ours. Here we shall remain.
5 epic stories of courage and resilience. We shall remain.
Coming in April to NET1.
They occupy the birdcage. The Creighton Prep student section, as you take a look at Brett Potter. What an intimidating atmosphere, and the old gym is going away. New gym being built, roughly twice the size of the old gym. But they'll still have a section known as the birdcage. I wonder how intimidating it would be. The old gym had quite some character to it. Helped the Junior Jays to 10 state championship seasons.
If it's got the same kids in it, it will still be intimidating.
Why not? Long jumper missed, and both teams really struggling from the floor, each at 31%. Actually, the Jays have just dipped to 29% on 5 of 17 shooting. Thus, our 13-13 tie late in the first half. Tyrants gives it to Martin. Martin having problems going off the glass. Douglas Wiley with the offensive rebound, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. And that's been a big difference. Marvin right now is 1 for 6.
And a lot of his 6 shots have all come. Well, I think there was 1 3.
2 threes.
2 threes. But his other looks, most notably there, a couple of them within 10 feet, just did not fall. Just a little bit offline.
So you wonder if 3 games in 3 days may be at least part of that.
Or if it's just one of those days. Sometimes,
yeah.
Well, every team has them where your shots just simply do not fall. You just hope that it doesn't happen to be in the state championship game.
Well, the good news is if you're a Southwest backer, is Prep's got the same disease. Devin Douglas Wiley makes them both, and Southwest back up by 2. 2 minutes left before halftime. 3 for the lead.
Prep really hurries the basketball up the floor almost every time they have it in the backcourt.
Fancy little up and under move. Devin Douglas Wiley trying to outlet down the floor, but Alex Hook takes it away. Good job by Hook, and now a foul on Tyrants. That'll be the 6th on Southwest. But Douglas Wiley really didn't have much of a choice because he probably would have been called for the travel, was able to collect himself enough to try to throw the outlet to his teammate. But Alex Hook getting in front of the ball, closing ground in a hurry.
That was Alex Hook in a nutshell right there.
Yeah.
You know, just good closing speed, a scrapper, making plays happen. Doesn't always have to be filling up the stat sheet.
Stormberg looks inside for Potter, muscles up, and draws the foul. He'll shoot 2. That's team foul number 7 against LSW. And it's going to be on Douglas Wiley, and that will be his first. Thought they had him for a second foul earlier in the game, but maybe one scoreboard not as close as the other. We'll double check on that. They only have him down for 1 right now. Looking to see if any blood on Brett Potter. Does not appear to be.
Potter, a familiar last name in the Creighton Prep community. Brett Potter, the cousin of former Nebraska football player Zach Potter.
Well, can't make a free throw, can't make a field goal at this point. And Josh Lutke wondering when the spell is going to end for his Jays. They are 5 of 19 from the floor, 1 of 9 from beyond the arc, and 2 of 5 from the charity stripe. And Southwest not much better, 6 of 20, 1 for 6, and 2 of 4 in those 3 stats respectively. 15-14. So
well, who's going to break through? Both teams are shooting poorly. That's the common ground here. Both sides have to keep shooting through it. All of a sudden, I have a sense that somebody, whether it be here at the end of the first half or maybe in the second half, somebody's going to get hot and have a stretch of about a pair of threes, maybe 3 quick buckets, go on a little run. And somebody just has to break free. It's going to happen at some point in time, and it's inevitable. And both these teams are Class A state championship qualifiers.
And Southwest just was a little too lackadaisical. It wasn't that great a press applied by Prep. They lost track of the count. 10-second backcourt violation. Prep now has the ball with a minute to go. 3 up by Stormberg, no good. A rebound to Lincoln Southwest. If there's one thing the Silverhawks are doing pretty well, and that is getting rebounds. They're winning that game 19-12. Up on the scoreboard by 1.
Prep is pretty well conditioned. Southwest has tried to run several times, specifically in the second quarter, but Prep gets back so quickly. They set their defense and are allowing very few transition opportunities for the Silverhawks.
Well, the one thing that has been an Achilles is when teams go up-tempo against the Silverhawks, it has been their undoing. They saw a 10-point lead evaporate to Omaha Bryan with that strategy yesterday. Tip try, no. Rebound to the Junior Jays. They should get the last shot of the period. Unless they decide to push the issue. They will. That one was blocked. Here comes Southwest. They've got 10 seconds left. Ball fumbled away. Here come the Jays. They've got the numbers and a foul.
Well, the refs swallowed the whistles there for a second and just let that sequence play out. There was a pair of opportunities for fouls to be called. Instead, this is what we come up with, and that's where the foul is whistled. Tyrants got the ball, blocked the shot, but there's a lot of other contact.
Well, the good thing that Tyrants did was he made sure that that shot was not going to fall in. He had committed himself to the act of not allowing that basket to happen. And now the free throws of the 2 variety. Nick Davis makes the first. This one would give Prep the lead with 6.5 seconds left to go.
Now here comes Greenman again. Out of the student section, sitting down. They'll wait till Davis gets the basketball. And here we go.
Hasn't worked the last 4 times.
Not at all.
6.5. Can Southwest get off a shot and a touch foul against Tim Gregg? Not a bad foul, though, because the Jays still have to foul twice more to send Southwest to the line, so you might as well let some clock burn off.
Really,
and
no
Dwayne
harm
Bach
done.
trying to get to the bench quickly before the inbound. He won't get the player in. Tried to get Jeff Siebold into the game. Down the floor, all the way in. Layup is good. They let Drew Edmond go coast to coast, and Southwest will take the lead into the locker room.
That's going to be a big bucket. Southwest, instead of down 1 at halftime, up 1. And some momentum that they take along with it.
So we go to halftime with your score. Lincoln Southwest 17, Creighton Prep 16. It has been a slugfest, and Josh Lutke with some aggressive words with his coaching staff. Let's see what he has to say to Dan. Dan?
Coach, an ugly half, but a half you end up within a point.
Well, yeah, we haven't played our best half. That was ugly on our part. I'll give Southwest credit for making us look that bad, but my kids are going to come out ready to play the second half.
What do you tell them to make sure that happens?
Tell them to relax. I mean, geez, they're tight. They're not playing their game. They just need to relax and knock down shots, and once we start knocking down shots, we're going to be all right.
All right, thanks for stopping in. Lincoln Southwest goes to the half up 17-16. We'll be back in a minute.
Programming provided by Nebraska Public Power District.
Energy efficiency is important to us all. At Nebraska Public Power District, we're committed to helping everyone use less energy through new technologies like this compact fluorescent light bulb. Because when you reduce your energy costs, we all win. This message brought to you by the Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us, together with your local public power utility.
You're on vacation in the mountains. You've got the kids, the dog, and your tent. Your son says, hiking is lame, so you try rock climbing. It ends up being harder than it looks. Now you're in the hospital wishing you'd stayed home. But you've got Blue Cross and Blue Shield, so you know you're covered, even though you're out of state. So you relax, which is why you went on vacation in the first place. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. One less thing to worry about.
Hey, college doesn't just happen. You have to push yourself as you go through high school. Don't be afraid to take classes like Algebra 2, Biology, or a foreign language. They can help raise your ACT score and prepare you for college. I wasn't the smartest kid in high school, but I took the tough classes and I passed. So what are you waiting for? Push yourself over to your counselor's office and sign up for them. They won't be easy, but you'll be glad you did.
Each year, we all wish for that great-looking garden or the best-tasting tomato. Hi, I'm Kim Todd, host of Backyard Farmer. Join me and a panel of UNL Extension experts each week as we answer your lawn and garden questions. You'll find out how to get rid of it, keep it, grow it, do it better than ever with help from Backyard Farmer. Plus, Backyard Farmer Extra answers all of your email and your letters.
Coming in April to NET1.
Hey, great party. Oh, thanks. Here you go. 1 hamburger, medium well.
This is well done.
No. That's medium well.
What? Are you calling me a liar? This thing is practically burnt.
That's it. You're not gonna come to my house and tell me how to cook a hamburger.
I don't really
You wouldn't do it there.
Gotta be crazy.
So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
The ballots are in on the 10-11 coaches Class A All-State team. Coaches across the state polled on who they think the best players in Class A are. And here's the list. Jarrell Creighton of Bellevue East to head on out. It's all Lincoln. Dole Kute, Jake Marvin, Taylor Price, and Drew Sankey representing, well, the capital city. Well, there were 4 Lincoln teams in the Class A field here at state this year.
That's right. Northeast was one of the 2 public schools here in Lincoln that did not make it to state, but Dole Kute made it on the all-state team, and it has been described as a renaissance year for Lincoln High School basketball. Just 2 years ago, the capital city had 0 representation. First time that we had ever seen in recorded history that was the case. But Lincoln doing much better this year in basketball, and you can see that pretty well represented. But again, not a lot of outstanding individual achievement. You would have to say that Jarrell Creighton, probably the best player in Class A from Bellevue East, averages 20 points a game. Very dominant inside presence for the Chieftains. But again, it was more about the team this year than it was about the individual in Class A. I think you could have probably thrown a blanket under those guys and maybe another dozen guys who arguably are good enough to represent the Class A All-State team this year.
Yeah, those are just the 5 that the coaches come up with, but like you mentioned, that list can just stretch on and on and on and on because there was so much balance across all of Class A. Each one of those teams had several guys that really led the way. So not the big name, but good balance all the way throughout Class A.
Right now, the NSAA and U.S. Bank representing with the Believers and Achievers, students who do well in the classroom, in the community, and in extracurricular activities. It is a tradition at state tournaments to honor these fine young men and women who do so much in their schools and in their hometowns. So congratulations to all of them. There will be a number of different ceremonies today to honor these kids. More coming up, including our halftime highlights and stats.
Programming made possible by Time Warner Cable, supporting local educators by providing free cable connections to public, private, and parochial schools in our area. Time Warner Cable, the power of you.
Programming on NET television is provided in part by Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us, together with your local public power utility. By Time Warner Cable, supporting local high school athletics and arts education in the communities we serve. And by Nebraska Soybean Board, encouraging the use of renewable biodiesel fuels for a healthier environment. For information, nebraskasoybeans.org.
Ragtime, America's music. NET Television takes you through a musical journey of this truly American art form. Listen to the musical stylings of Nebraska's own Jack Oliva. Watch NET's production of Ragtime Cabaret.
Coming soon to NET1.
Halftime in Class A, Lincoln Southwest leads by 1. Let's take a look at the halftime numbers as we have documented throughout the first half. Struggles from the field, 3-pointers especially, just 1 of 10 for the Junior Jays, 1 of 6 for Lincoln Southwest. Silverhawks dominating in the rebounds right now, 21-13. And just a quick look here, offensive rebounds, 7-3 in favor of Southwest. So they've had some second chance opportunities. They really haven't capitalized, though, on those second chance opportunities. As we take a look at the first half highlights, and really not as much to show you. Silverhawks got a hot start. We're out there 2 of their first 3. And for the Junior Jays, well, as we mentioned, there's 1 3 that was made. And then there are a couple there by Brett Potter, but as far as individual numbers are concerned, Kyle Headley with 7 points and 4 rebounds. Creighton Prep led by Taylor Stormberg with 4 points and 3 rebounds. So again, very low numbers all across the board. And we talked about it late in the first half, Kevin. At some point, somebody you would expect is going to break out of the shooting funk. When that happens, we should see real separation, unless it just happens to both teams at the same time.
It's hard to say when it's going to come, right? We haven't seen anything that tells us that it's on the brink of happening. Drew Edmonds' layup there at the end of the half was nice, but outside of that, Edmonds had trouble getting to the basket, and that's one of the ways Lincoln Southwest generates its offense, is penetrate and kick out. maybe look for them to try to really work things out of Jake Marvin, the post player who's had some troubles. As for Creighton Prep, hard saying. They just got to keep shooting. You got to figure they're going to fall soon.
Well, so far Marvin has just 2 points in the first half, and we haven't seen much of an inside presence from him at this point. He is just one of his first 6. So we'll see if Southwest decides to do that. We'll come back and have more. Second half is straight ahead.
Soy biodiesel from Nebraska soybeans lowers our dependence on foreign oil. It has properties that reduce engine wear. And it burns without harmfully polluting the atmosphere. The Nebraska Soybean Board encourages the use of soy biodiesel.
Programming on NET television is provided in part by U.S. Bank, measuring success through performance, pride, products, and people, backed by a 5-star service guarantee. U.S. Bank, member FDIC. By Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska, one less thing to worry about. By Education Quest Foundation, improving access to college through scholarships, grants, and college planning services. And by Nebraska Office of Highway Safety. Please remember that if you drink and drive, you lose.
Liftoff.
I was born
Space
to
Shuttle
do
Atlantis.
this.
I have a huge heritage here, and I'm very proud to be home. Thanks.
Watch NET's production of Homemade Astronaut, the Clay Anderson story, coming in June on NET1 and NET HD.
Welcome back to the Devaney Center, where Lincoln Southwest leads by 1 at halftime. Coach, it wasn't pretty, but your team's up.
Well, in a game like this, there's not much of a lead right now. It's anybody's ball game in the second half.
How big was the last play of the half there, just to get up, get something on the board?
It's always good to have momentum going into the second half, but we still need to refocus, do a better job, take care of the basketball.
I mean, what's the key going to be? What'd you tell the guys in the locker room?
It's a physical ball game, so we need to play that way. We got to play smarter than we did the first half.
Now, for you guys, this is uncharted waters. First state finals, is that playing in at all? Were the guys nervous?
Those jitters are gone all Thursday.
All right, thanks very much, Coach. Good luck in the second half. We'll be back with second half action in just a minute. Lincoln Southwest leads 17-16.
Programming provided by Nebraska Public Power District.
Graduation is right around the corner. Do you know where you want to be? Nebraska Public Power District employs a diverse workforce throughout the state. From engineers to line technicians and environmental specialists to customer service representatives. We also offer educational co-op and internship opportunities to qualified college students. Nebraska Public Power District. It's where you want to be.
There are more ways than ever to enjoy your favorite NET programming, all broadcast digitally. NET1 and NET HD provide locally produced specials and documentaries about the issues that are important to you. NET2 offers PBS World, a 24-hour digital channel showing locally produced and PBS documentaries. On NET's third digital channel, Create, advice on cooking, gardening, and home improvement. Visit netnebraska.org to find out how to see them in your area.
We knew the battle was going to come.
I figured I could make a stand here.
We are united in one common cause.
He had a vision. These lands are ours. Here we shall remain.
5 epic stories of courage and resilience. We shall remain.
Coming in April to NET1.
Getting ready for the second half here in Class A. Lincoln Southwest and Creighton Prep with just a 1-point game. No one really got much separation, as you would expect in a low-scoring game. If you're just joining us, we've already crowned 2 champions. Ravenna in come-from-behind fashion, winning in Class C2. And then our last game, one that we probably won't forget anytime soon. On a game-winning shot, Sterling beating Ewing 49-48. One of the most exciting state finals we've had in recent years.
And an image that will likely live on for a long time when thinking about these state championships. Jimmy Motes winning his first ever state title. It came as a coach, not a player. And when that final horn sounded, Jimmy ran the floor, circled around, and found his player that hit the game-winning shot, gave him a big bear hug, and it was a lot of fun.
Before we get ready for the second half, let's go down to Dan Hedman.
Is there cameras? All right, guys. Josh Jones joins me now, and played for Omaha Central last year. You guys won a title, but today you're winning an individual award for overcoming some personal stuff in your life. Tell us about it.
Well, I guess from what I was explained to by the people who gave me the award, I guess it's from my hard work and from my perseverance from what I've been through. You know, like my father died in 2006. I had the open heart surgery in 2007. So I just feel like for me to accomplish so much and been through so many obstacles that I deserve it.
What was that stretch like for you? Because as a young guy, that's so hard to lose your father and then go through the personal issues with your heart.
Well, I mean, it takes a lot out of you, you know, because my family, my intermediate family is my backbone. You know, like when I lost my father, I felt like I didn't have nothing to play for no more. You know, he's always supported me in my games and all that. So I just felt like I lost my drive to play, you know, and I had to get it back.
All right, well, it's great to see you here and great to see you doing well. Congratulations and good luck in the future.
Thanks a lot.
All right, guys, back to you.
Josh Jones, boy, what memories he provided for us in the state tournament.
Yeah,
and they say a foul there as Marvin trying to save it from going out of bounds. They say he was pushed out of bounds by Cole Martin.
Josh Jones with off-season open heart surgery as a high schooler. We also want to send out some get well wishes to Cody Jackson, a high schooler here in Lincoln who is hospitalized right now with a staph infection. So, Cody, we're thinking of you. Get better.
No doubt about it. So, it's just as slow a start here in the second half, very early on. Each team's already missed a shot on the way for three. Well, Headley tried to get off to the second half that he had in the first when he hit an opening three. Trying the dish underneath, but no one was there except Garrett Nitz. Now the outlet down the floor. Tompkins with the layup, and it's missed. Wow, someone please take the lid off the basket.
Well, this game's really not doing either team any justice. You know, if you haven't seen much of Class A and you're witnessing these are the top two teams in the state, but let us tell you, they're really good basketball teams. Look at that.
Still can't buy a bucket. Stormberg with the great individual effort by himself, and then took the three from the corner, and it should have fallen, but it didn't. Headley this time will pull in from a little closer, and still nothing doing. It's about 6 shots, 3 by each team in this half, and nothing to show for it. 3 on the way. No.
Now both teams are just shooting in hopes of the ball going down. That's where I think both coaches are wanting to say, let's run our offense and make sure we're getting really good looks, and we're not just settling for an 18-foot jump shot.
Prep 5 of 25, Southwest 7 of 27. Well, there we go. Drew Edmond says, fine, you just need to get real close to the basket.
And a lot of Drew Edmond having that lane is the fact that Lincoln Southwest spread the floor there. They gave him just a little gap for him to hit it hard, and he penetrated. Nice finish with the left hand.
So Edmond has the last 2 baskets of this game, one to end the first half, the other here at the early stages of the second. Southwest with a 3-point lead. Spinner, dish, and turnover. Might have been well served to go up strong and see if he can draw a foul, but decided against it. As you take a look at Josh Lutke, he said, team's just too tight. We need to
relax.
Relax, exactly. Take it easy. We'll be fine. And again, remember, Southwest got off to the 7-2 start. It looked like we were going to be able to tickle the twine quite frequently in this game, but they went through that 7-minute stretch without a field goal, and Creighton Prep kind of slowly got its way back into the game.
Good job by Alex Hook getting in there and breaking up that post-entry pass.
Now Stormberg dribbles in, takes it back out, and Prep set up on offense. So even though Prep has gone through its spells, it's not like Southwest has done much better, and that's why we only have a 3-point game. You just get the feeling if somebody gets on a roll here,
A 6-0 run would almost be insurmountable, it would seem.
It would seem that way. Foul was away from the ball. Ethan Tompkins making contact with one of the junior Jays, and now line 2 comes in. These are the 3 main subs for Dwayne Bach: Rylan Cotton, Devin Douglas Wiley, and Jordan Tyrants. Sometimes they'll bring in this unit and it seems to generate a little more offense, especially with Douglas Wiley, but hasn't been that way today. Here comes the ball right at us. And they say it was last touched off of Prep. Very unhappy are the Prep boosters behind us, and neither is Josh Lukey. He didn't like that call either.
Well, the Jays want at least a shot to put the ball at the basket. It's not going to do yourself any favors turning the basketball over. There was a questionable call there, but we play on. Creighton Prep still looking for its first field goal in the second half.
Marvin enters for Douglas Wiley. No. And you have to say, there have been some close range shots, but because of the defense of these two teams, it has also influenced whether or not somebody can actually get the ball down the cylinder. And finally, on the offensive rebound, Nick Davis gives the Jays their first points of the second half, and it comes 4 minutes into the period.
Way to stick with it by Davis. The first one did not go, but he was right there, active on the offensive glass, gets the stick back to go in.
Tyrant spins his way in. Nice touch.
That was pretty. Good athleticism shown there by Jordan Tyrants.
Looking around for someone to go to. They'll reverse. From the baseline, no. My gosh, this has been tough. Jays 6 of 29.
Outside of Davis's putback, there haven't been too many offensive rebounds here in the third quarter, so it's almost been one and done, whether it be for Lincoln Southwest or Creighton Prep.
Drawing the foul, Drew Edmond. Well, Edmond's been able to create a little bit. He's one of the guys who's been able to do something here today offensively. He's 2 for 3. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
Edmond's a nice player, a junior from Lincoln Southwest, already the school's all-time assists and steals leader.
Well, it's a 7-year-old school. You can set some records pretty early.
They are, yep. Doesn't have to chase a whole lot of people, but showing that he's a pretty solid all-around player, very unselfish player. I really like Drew Edmonds' game.
Makes the second, 3:01, third quarter. Timeout on the floor. We're coming right back.
Did you know 1 out of 5 Nebraska high school students drive after drinking? Parents, enough is enough.
Programming on NET Television is provided in part by the Dr. Tom and Dorothy Hallstrom Inspire Nebraska Athletics Endowment.
You are watching NET1 and NET HD.
Prep hoping to take home their 11th state championship, first since 1994. Jays, one of the most decorated teams in all of Class A, with 51 state tournament appearances in 99 state tournaments. First championship came in 1924. Lincoln Southwest, in just their 7th year of existence, this is their first trip to state. And they have made it count with 2 straight wins and a chance to win a state basketball title. A drive still can't buy a bucket, but at least Brett Potter will go to the free throw line to try to get some points. Prep has been stuck with 2 points here in the second half.
Douglas Wiley has those arms tilted over. You know, sometimes the call won't be made if the arms are straight up, but he was leaning over trying to get a bit of the basketball. Instead, he picks up his 3rd foul. There's some bumping with the body as well down in the paint.
My, oh my.
Oh, that sums it up, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Even the free throws.
You can't make a field goal. You can't make a free throw. Jays are 5 of 9 from the stripe. 6 of 29 from the floor. Does make the second, and it's a 3-point lead for
John,
Lincoln Southwest.
Sometimes you see a low field goal percentage and you go, oh, what bad shooting day? Oftentimes it's because the other team had excellent defense. You can't make that argument when you miss your free throws, though.
Headley, almost a turnover after the pinball.
Good idea by Creighton Prep.
Yeah, Prep starting to pressure a little bit more on the guards outside. Here comes Marvin. And it rolls down. Finally, enough English on the ball to get it to go through the cylinder instead of out. First points of the second half for Marvin. He's got 4. Still waiting to see if Southwest can try to enter the ball to him a little bit more and make him more of an inside presence. Little baby hook. And off the bench, Scott Chris. Maybe he's what the Junior Jays needed.
It's a good call by Coach Lutke. Bring in somebody else who has a fresh look, fresh legs. See what he can do. Chris, with just 33 points the entire regular season, comes up with the deuce.
Marvin this time mid-range, no. Again, ball comes back out of the cylinder. 90 seconds left to go in the period. Prep down 3. Potter almost lost it, saves it inbounds. A drive in and a foul. That'll be free throws for Max Herter.
It's almost as if Creighton Prep is saying, all right, we know that our shots are not falling, so we're not even going to try to attempt them from 18 feet or further. We're going to make everything inside. We've seen them try to generate some offense out of the post. Otherwise, they're driving. Trying to make sure all their shot attempts right now are coming from closely within to the basket.
Jeff Smith of Lincoln Southeast is watching this game. He's saying, how come this Creighton Prep team couldn't have shown up yesterday?
Well, they shot awfully well yesterday against Lincoln Southeast,
including from beyond the arc, and it was Southeast that really struggled, especially from 3-point range. Now it's down to a 1-point game again. Edmond into the front court, works off a pick.
Nice job by Chris, cutting Edmond off, not letting him come off that screen and go to the hoop.
Oh, and a lot of danger there. Garrett Nitz was in a lot of trouble a moment ago. Under a minute to play here in the period. Marvin will try the 3. No.
Excellent defensive set by Creighton Prep there. Great job communicating on some of those screens, fighting through it, switching on defense, making sure everybody's accounted for at all times.
Oh, down on the floor. It's Jordan Tyrants. Not sure what happened. It was away from the ball, and he pounds the hardwood.
Looks like it's his ankle. I think he turned it while defending.
All right, let's watch to the right here.
It's hard to say exactly what happened.
They are definitely looking at the right ankle, or left ankle, I beg your pardon, of Jordan Tyrants. Again, one of the key contributors off the bench, 6'3" junior. 2 points here this afternoon, and everything goes quiet right now, and he is in a lot of pain. Let's see it again, see if we can get a different angle here as he's guarding. Yep.
It's almost the way he planted.
Yep.
While he was guarding the basketball.
Wow, is he in pain.
Tyrant's a good player from Lincoln Southwest. He's a junior. His first year actually at Lincoln Southwest. Previously played at Parkview Christian, but transferred over this year. Certainly giving the Silverhawks a big boost.
And I believe the son of former Husker Pat Tyrants.
That is correct.
Parkview Christian, one of our one of the smaller parochial schools in Lincoln. So he goes from the smallest school in town to one of the largest, and unfortunately to the locker room. And the way he was favoring that ankle, I have to believe that he will be hard-pressed to get back into the game. But we'll see. Maybe a retaping. They can do something.
It's good to see him walk off, though. I will say that.
Under 30 seconds left. And I have to believe that Prep's going to play for the last shot. Josh Luedtke signaling the Prep to spread the floor a little bit. Now they'll enter in. Potter blocked by Marvin. He'll get another try. Yes! Potter gets the friendly bounce, and the Junior Jays lead by 1. 9 seconds left. And they'll call the foul at the point. Alex Hook working against Edmond. Edmond was probably thinking same thing he did. He ended the first half working on his own for the basket. Here it is again.
Some bumping in the backcourt.
You could probably argue that that's a no call right there. 4 seconds left. Looking, Marvin, a long three, and it's good!
So a quarter that saw such little offense ends in a long three by Jake Marvin. Expect the bizarre in quarter number 4.
It's coming up next.
Programming made possible by Time Warner Cable, supporting local performing arts and arts education with projects like Adventure Lead and our annual Arts Immersion Project. Time Warner Cable, the power of you.
It's new, it's exciting, it's the NET member card. When you become a member at the $80 level and above, enjoy 2-for-1 dining deals at over 120 restaurants throughout Nebraska. From Scottsbluff to Omaha, Valentine to Hastings, the NET member card is your ticket to delicious dining and great deals. It's our way of saying thanks for supporting NET Television. Become an NET member now and enjoy 2-for-1 entrees at restaurants all over the state.
Straight quarters have ended with Prep with the lead, seconds winding down, and Southwest getting the late field goal. This time a 3 from Jake Marvin, and they take a 2-point lead into the final 8 minutes. Give and go, nice play. We see a play work this time, and Max Herter finishes to tie the game.
That's good coaching right in the quarter exchange there by Josh Luedtke to set up a good offensive set. Excellent backdoor cut by Creighton Prep, and Herter was there to finish, tied up at 27.
So now, Edmond will look for an answer here for Lincoln Southwest. Marvin thought about another 3. Working up and under, off the glass, no. Gets a miss, puts it up, no. A tip, no. Still tipped around. Finally, Prep comes away with it, Scott Chris.
What a game Chris has had off the bench. Came in late. I don't believe he played in the first half, came into the third quarter and has provided a nice spark for the Junior Jays.
And now Creighton Prep can get the lead back. Kick out. Oh, thought about it from 3. Maybe that's a little bit of that shaky confidence, not being able to make those long jumpers. Another miss. I think you're seeing Prep a little gun shy. That's a couple of 3s that I think yesterday they take. Today they do not.
Absolutely. You know, seeing your teammates and yourself not making shots will make you think twice.
Marvin, no.
He's not gun shy though.
He's not, but still I'm a little surprised that Marvin's playing so much of an outside game today instead of an inside game. But maybe that's the presence of Chris, who, even though he is not as tall, has a few more pounds on Jake Marvin. So again, Prep with a chance to take the lead here.
Marvin seems a little winded right now. But remember, Devin Douglas Wiley has 3 fouls. He's sitting on the bench. That's usually Marvin's replacement.
Not much for spacing on the floor right now by Prep. There was quite a traffic jam over there. They were fortunate to get out of it.
So they'll back up and reset offensively.
Steffensmeyer, Potter. Blocked, but tipped out. 3 on the way is good. Steffensmeyer got the kick out, and the Jays have a 3-point lead.
That could maybe get the monkey off the back for the junior Jays. Marvin was fighting for the rebound. He tipped it back. Nobody was home for Lincoln Southwest to get the rebound. Instead, Steffensmeyer there, and he drains the big 3.
But away from the basketball, he's called for the foul. It's only his first, and that's only the 3rd against Prep here in the 4th, I beg your pardon, here in the second half. 5:19 to go. It'll be Southwest basketball when we come back. They're trailing by 3.
Programming provided by Nebraska Public Power District.
My job with Nebraska Public Power District takes me to new heights, offers me challenging experiences. Like me, the utility cares about Nebraska. I go home at night knowing that what I do makes a difference. To put it simply, I am where I want to be.
Nebraska Public Power District. Always there when you need us. Together with your local public power utility.
Soy biodiesel from Nebraska soybeans lowers our dependence on foreign oil. It has properties that reduce engine wear. And it burns without harmfully polluting the atmosphere. The Nebraska Soybean Board encourages the use of soy biodiesel.
Birdcage West, if you're a Prep backer. And right now, the Jays with a 3-point lead at 5:19 to play in regulation. Southwest will inbound underneath their basket. Devin Douglas Wiley back into the game, and he is fouled. Interesting that at the top of his jump, it looked like he was going to release and then hesitated another split second.
Yeah, he brought the ball down just a touch.
Yeah, and I thought that maybe he would land without letting it go. Let's watch it again. I thought he was going to go right there at the apex of his jump and didn't let go and draws the foul.
So maybe Douglas Wiley bailed out by the whistle. It really did seem like he was changing his mind at the peak of his jump.
Missed the first foul shot, though. And he has been so crucial for Southwest down the stretch. He single-handedly helped Southwest win the district championship against Burke with his heroics both in regulation and his 3-point play in overtime. But he has been very quiet here today. Has 5 rebounds, but only 3 points. Second leading scorer for the Silverhawks coming off the bench.
Yeah, you're right, John. He's been a clutch player for them. Provided some big moments in districts, also at the state tournament yesterday in the semifinal round. Been very limited in what he's been able to do today.
Prep looks outside, bad pass. Loose on the floor, who's going to come up with it? And finally, Southwest has it. Edmond.
Well, Prep wanted the old pick and roll. Nobody was home, though, on the pass, creating the scramble. Southwest comes up with the basketball. Down by 2. Good defense by Hook.
Yeah, really good defense. Entry pass, and that's going to be Prep basketball.
Edmond really wanted to get to the basket, but 1-2 dribbles later, Hook was right there sealing off the baseline saying,
Well, wait a minute here. We're going to have a confab here. Let's see. Who did it touch off last? Wiley. Oh, yes. It went off of Potter. Now, of course, there was a call earlier in the game that Prep thought should have gone their way on the last touch, but you can see with the replay that was definitely off of Potter. Break for Creighton Prep.
Absolutely. Last hands touch was Devin Douglas Wiley, but the final touch was the heel of Potter.
At this point, a 2-possession lead looks mighty good for anybody with less than 4 minutes to play in this very low-scoring affair. Hook. Potter, high lob for Chris, and he scores!
Scott Chris, deep off the bench with a big bucket for Creighton Prep.
And Prep has opened up a 4-point lead. Devin Douglas Wiley trying to dribble in, lost it on the floor, and saved it off his back. Oh, is that a clutch play for Southwest if Prep gets the ball there.
Look at Chris push Jake Marvin about 18 feet away from the basket.
Oh, yeah, we're telling you, the physical presence alone, Chris
there he is
huge.
pushing him out. Marvin wants to be down by the block.
Can't find his way in. Southwest having all kinds of problems with this Prep defense, and that floater had no chance from Drew Edmond.
Excellent
Prep really
defense.
Asserting themselves.
Excellent defense by the boys in black, just shutting off every dribbling lane and really making Southwest do some things offensively they do not want to do.
And Chris getting a big slap on his way to the huddle. He has been clutch here in the second half. 32-28. Back after this.
Did you know 2 out of 5 Nebraska high school students drink? And that 43% of the Nebraska high school students drank last month?
Programming on NET television is made possible in part by U.S. Bank, fulfilling their commitment to serve customers wherever they are on their terms, providing a full range of banking services at 57 branch offices and more than 100 ATMs located conveniently across Nebraska. Wherever you go, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, you'll find us.
.253 left. Prep leads by 4 with 2:53 to play. Possession arrow to Southwest. Both teams have plenty of timeouts left. Prep, though, has the important thing, and that's the basketball. And Southwest held without a field goal since that buzzer-beating 3 at the end of the third period by Jake Marvin. Give and go again. This is how they started the half, and it works again. Herder cutting backdoor, and it's the biggest lead enjoyed by Prep, and it comes with 2.5 to play.
The exact same play they ran to start the fourth quarter. It worked then, it worked again. We have our biggest lead of the entire ball game right now at 6 points.
Marvin trying to work somehow in and can't do it. Ball tipped around. Hook will come out of it. And you can see the frustration on Marvin just trying to make something happen at the baseline. Really did not have a good shot.
Herder did a great job. He was on the floor. He poked the ball forward where Creighton Prep was able to track it down.
And now Southwest still has 3 fouls to give before they send Prep to the line. They're going to have to start doing that here in a hurry because the way this game is going, time is not on their side in a 6-point game.
Yeah, that's exactly what Drew Edmond was doing there. He wanted the foul, maybe try to get that foul total up. Down by 6. Southwest does have to think about maybe sending Creighton Prep to the free throw line. But the big story here in the second half has been Southwest going ice cold offensively here in the fourth quarter. But the reason for that is Creighton Prep's defense has just been amazing here over the past 5-6 minutes.
And really, you got to give some credit to Scott Chris, the 6'6" senior. He only had scored 33 points coming into this state tournament. He has 4 here today, but it's been his inside presence keeping Jake Marvin away. I mean, in a state tournament where, especially here on Saturday, officials tend to allow a lot more to happen, Chris has been able to use his bulk. You can see him right there, number 50, his back to you, just bullying Marvin out of that lane and keeping him off the scoreboard. Right now stuck on 7 points, and it's his 3. Marvin's 3 is the last field goal for Southwest. This is the second stretch in this game where Southwest has gone 6 minutes or more without a field goal.
Yeah, the other one came in the opening half. Talking about Chris, building on that, Jake Marvin, he wants to set up when he wants to get the ball down low. He wants it right at the block with his back to the basket about 4 or 5 feet away. Chris is basically bumping him, and many times we've seen him knock him from about 3, 4, 5 feet away from the basket, and then all of a sudden he's operating about 15 feet away. So that's where a lot of Southwest's offense generates. They've not been able to settle in here in the second half.
Hook will get it on the inbound. And by the way, Jordan Tyrants, number 10, back in the game. Tyrants, after that ankle injury, back out on the floor. But Southwest, again, needs either the ball or to get that clock stopped. And there it is, Edmond with the foul. But that's only number 5. 2 more before Prep goes to the line, and precious time running out with Southwest having all kinds of problems putting the ball in the hole.
Yeah, Coach Dwayne Bach saying, let's foul again. Let's get it to number 6.
It needs to happen a little bit faster than it did before. Yep. No, they called a travel. Oh, Tyrants almost shoved him, and they called a travel. The call came in from behind. Oh, my. And Josh Lukey, fit to be tied. Watch it again off the inbound. Watch number 10 in white. Right there.
Well, there were some feet shuffling. I don't know if it came before or after. Tyrants coming in there to break the play up. Keep in mind, Devin Douglas, while he was the other defender, he was not going to foul because he's already got 3.
Southwest must score here. Tyrants. Marvin, another 3. No. Rebound fought for, still loose on the floor. Who's going to come up with it? And
timeout.
Will they grant the timeout? Yes. Oh,
Garrett
my
Nitz.
goodness.
Edmond got the ball first down on the floor where there was about 3 other bodies around him. Garrett Nitz went right up to the official and called timeout. It was a bang-bang play. Lincoln Southwest, though, will retain possession, down by 6 with 1:18 to play. Regardless if Southwest has a basketball or not, they have to score.
And the Prep fans are up in arms right now. They cannot believe what has happened. Now, remember, we've seen a couple of calls go their way as well. That inbounds play, or that entry pass to Douglas Wiley being one of them. But regardless, you play with what you've got, and Prep still has the lead. And if they continue to play good defense, they're not going to lose this game, because Southwest has not been able to create much of anything offensively today. Just 11 of 39 from the floor. Not that Prep has done much better, but they've done the little things that have counted, especially on the defensive end.
I can't believe Lincoln Southwest only has 28 points. We have 1:18 to play in this entire ball game. The leading Silverhawks scorer right now is Jake Marvin with 7, and he's had some pretty mighty shooting troubles here in this ball game.
Well, it's not uncommon. Class A has been affected by some low scoring in recent years. You go back to 2001, East beat Columbus 36-35. Unless something dramatic happens here, we're going to outdo that as far as lowest scoring Class A final in the modern era. Look at that defense outside, driving all the way in. No points, Potter will get free throws.
Defensively, Potter was there with Nitz one-on-one. Right when he got a few dribbles in, you see the collapse. There's a second player there. It was Alex Hook helping out on defense. That's what I think is most impressive about the Junior Jays defense. They communicate so well. They switch a lot. They work through screens. And it doesn't help that Southwest isn't hitting their free throws.
I can only describe the shooting today as brutal. That's really, it's about the best you can do. It has been brutal. And again, not all of it because of lack of offensive ability, but defensive as well. Unfortunately, even at the free throw line, uncontested.
That's the difference. It's something I was talking about earlier. You know, from the floor, you can credit good defense. From the free throw line, you can't.
Nope.
It's just poor shooting.
And we will get a foul in the backcourt. That is number 6 on Southwest. 5-point game, and we're at a point now. Prep makes their free throws. They will take home state tournament trophy number 11. Dwayne Bach hoping for a miracle here.
Well, keep in mind, our last state championship, there was a team down by 5 in the final minute, came back to win. Or actually, no, it was they came back to take the lead. They didn't win, but we did see a similar situation with the team trailing by 5 with a minute to play. That was Ewing. They did come back to take the lead, only to lose on a last-second shot.
And now back into the game, it's Scott Chris, arguably the unsung hero for Creighton Prep here this afternoon. To the free throw line, you take a look at Chris. At the free throw line, Caleb Steffensmeyer. This is 1-1. Southwest praying for a first shot miss.
Chris, Potter, Davis, give them all credit for their great efforts down low for Creighton Prep.
Way short. Douglas Wiley with the rebound. Southwest still has a shot.
Doesn't have to be a three, just get a basket.
Entry to Marvin. He is fouled. That's number 7 on the Junior Jays. And here's that situation again. You're sending someone to the line to score with the clock stopped. Now that turned out to hurt Sterling in regulation in our last game. Here's Jake Marvin to the line. Unfortunately for Southwest, they have done they've done a smidgen better from the foul line than they have from the field, but they are still only 5 of 10. Timeout Josh Lutke. That'll be the second timeout taken by Creighton Prep. 3 timeouts left for each team. Southwest has the possession arrow, and each team has committed 7 fouls, so it's the 1-1 for at least the next few fouls with 44.9 seconds left. And if you're Jake Marvin and Southwest, you need these two badly to make it a 1-possession game. I don't think you can quite count for the weird sequence that took place in behalf of Ewing in our last game.
Yeah, keep in mind this, though. Creighton Prep is only shooting 62% from the line. So let's say Marvin makes both. It would then become a 3-point game. You foul again, there's no guarantees that Creighton Prep is going to make any of their free throws right now, because they've had some shooting issues as well throughout this contest. So I don't think it's over by any means. Now, but it does start with Marvin needing to make these free throws.
By the way, Hook for Prep has 4 fouls. He is the only player in any foul trouble this late in the game. Devin Douglas Wiley has 3 for Lincoln Southwest, and he right now is not on the floor. Jake Marvin with 2 very important free throws right here for Lincoln Southwest. It's a 1-1. He needs the first. His team is down 5 with 44 seconds to go. He'll get the second.
Banged around a bit, but it drops. Maybe expect Southwest to be awfully aggressive defensively here. Make or miss. Probably try to get a turnover and get the ball back.
There it is. 3-point game. Kyle Headley will come in for Marvin.
Great substitution. This is why it stops the game right now. This is allowing Lincoln Southwest to set up their defense and really get after it here as Prep looks to trigger it in. They need to go the length of the floor.
Potter will be the trigger man. And he will enter it in the backcourt to Stormberg, and Stormberg will be immediately fouled. This is a pretty good guy to have at the line, though, if you're Creighton Prep. Stormberg, pretty good scorer. He only has 4 points today after he had 3 threes in the first half yesterday against Lincoln Southeast. This is again a 1-1. That's the 8th team foul against the Silverhawks. And one more time, Southwest needs another miss. Stormberg go 2 for 2 at the line. Missed it.
Chance to tie for Lincoln Southwest.
Don't necessarily need to tie it right now. Still have time. Oh, nearly threw it away. Desperation heave just to keep it alive. 25 seconds. Now a more conventional three. Bricked it. Marvin with the rebound. Looking again. And a timeout. Boy, Garrett Nitz.
That first heave.
He was trying to avoid losing the ball on a turnover.
Yeah.
So he just threw it up there. Somehow it came down in their hands. Then got a traditional shot. What has happened, though, is enough time has run off the clock where
you really have to shoot a three now.
Almost. Watch this whole sequence again.
The pass was so high, he almost steps out, and that's the reason for him just throwing it up there.
But then Devin Douglas
heads-up play.
Yeah, it was. But then he got a better shot, a more normal three, and he missed it completely. So now what you're thinking of, who are your three-point shooters? Well, we saw Headley make a couple.
Nitz would be the most likely candidate to take this shot. Also, don't forget about Marvin. Marvin does have range. Drew Edmond, he can hit from beyond the arc. So you have options in terms of who you're drawing this play up for.
Now,
but
you could still, and I still believe, because remember, you still have one more 1-and-1 foul to give for Southwest. I think you could, if you could, draw up a good inbounds play, get a quick basket.
Yeah, but that means you're going to have to score twice.
Exactly.
And the chances of scoring twice, the way this game has played out, scoring twice in 19.6 seconds might be really difficult. Scoring once in 7 minutes was difficult for Lincoln Southwest earlier.
Now, of course, the disadvantage here is Southwest has a longer inbound if they want to try to get a quick two, and it looks like they will end up playing for the three in the tie. So here's Edmond. Tyrants. Oh, nearly threw it away. 9 seconds left. Guarded. Desperation almost. Off, no good. Rebound fought for, and that foul is going to send Prep to the free throw line.
Garrett Nitz wanted a foul on the three. He had two defenders right there in front of him. It was short, and Prep was there to scramble for the rebound.
Great perimeter defense by Prep, as really Nitz did not have an open look.
I don't think that's the shot Lincoln Southwest really wanted in that situation. And they wanted to peel somebody off and try to get a clean look at the hoop.
And that's why I thought maybe draw up a two-point play. Now remember, this is 1-and-1, but if he makes the first, the game is essentially over. I mean, technically, of course, it's not, but a two-possession game. And Prep can play everybody back, and now Dwayne Bach wants a timeout before the free throws.
And Josh Lutke is not happy about the timing of that call. The fact that they let the ball get in his free throw shooter's hands.
And his coaches had to restrain him. They did not want to get a technical. That could have been devastating. But the timeout is granted. Southwest has one left.
Well, what Dwayne Bach wants to do here, he wants to tell him, you know, here's the situation. If he misses this shot, we get the rebound. This is what we're going to do offensively. We have 5 seconds. Hurry the ball down the floor and get off a good three.
Now, they do have a timeout left if they were able, because remember, Prep had pulled everybody back, but not into the backcourt. They had pulled them back behind the shooter. So there was still a chance to run things down. You could, if you get the rebound, try to advance the ball, call timeout so you have a better inbound situation. Remember, in high school, this is not the NBA, where after a timeout, you get an inbound in the front court. You inbound for where the ball went dead.
You have to go the length of,
And Southwest would have to go the distance here. So now they're going to play in the blocks. This is a 1-and-1. Steffensmeyer. Missed it. Rebound. Douglas Wiley. 3 seconds left. Wait a minute. Shot is up. This is not going to count. It almost went in, but it is not going to count. A timeout was called first, but how much time ran off the clock in the confusion?
Because that was a late whistle. You know, if Lincoln Southwest wanted to call the timeout the second that they got possession of the rebound, I don't think they would have allowed the basketball to come up the floor so far.
Now, very important point. There is no instant replay review. The officials will determine on their own. Even though we are here as television, there is no clock review in high school basketball. So it is the officials' discretion solely as to how much time they can put back on the clock. And there was time that came off the clock. We were at 5.1 seconds. We are at 2.2.
I will say, John, 2.2 seconds. You have the chance to catch, dribble, and shoot. There is potential to get a good, clean look here at, whoa. The clock has just been changed to 0.3.
Well, they will change it, I'm sure. This is,
let's say it is 2.2. You have the chance to potentially catch, dribble, shoot, even if there's 3.7. I've seen so many times here at the state tournament, this week in particular, where teams have tried to throw the ball way down the floor and then just catch and heave. There is no need for that. Remember the Bryce Drew play from Valparaiso? That was even less time than this. He was able to peel off, catch, turn, shoot. You can get a good look. You got to keep that mental clock and let it tick, let it count down. 3, 2, 1. You could almost run the length of the floor in 3.7.
Now,
let's see what Southwest does.
Everyone for Southwest in the front court, so the inbound looks like it's going to be a long heave.
I don't know if you need to do that.
Marvin gets it, gives it off. This to tie. It will go, and Prep, the state champions. Omaha Creighton Prep wins their 11th state championship. We're back with the medals after this.
Programming on NET television is provided in part by Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us, together with your local public power utility. By Time Warner Cable, supporting local high school athletics and arts education in the communities we serve. And by Nebraska Soybean Board, encouraging the use of renewable biodiesel fuels for a healthier environment. For information, nebraskasoybeans.org.
Creighton Prep in a slugfest, 34-31. It's time for our medal presentations. Leading off our Sportsmanship Award, here's public address announcer Doc Weiniger.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 Sportsmanship Awards to give away at this time. At first, we are pleased to present the Sportsmanship Award for Class C2. We want to thank all schools, students, fans, players, and coaches for their ongoing efforts to improve sportsmanship at the state tournament and throughout the year. We also thank Awards Unlimited and the Nebraska Independent College Foundation for sponsoring these awards. Making the presentation and representing the Nebraska Athletic Directors Association is Tim McNamara of Platteview High School. Representing the Nebraska Coaches Association is Sam Dunn of Minden High School. And presenting the award is Jack Pierce, President of the Nebraska Independent College Foundation. This year's Class C2 Sportsmanship Award is presented to Freeman High School. Receiving the Please come forward to receive your medal. Number 1, Alex Hood. Number 3, Tim Gray. Number 4, John Paul Franco. Number 24, Nick Davis. Number 33, Sam Setter. Number 44, Steven Sudica. Number 50, Scott Chris. Number 0, Brett Potter. Number 12, Caleb Steffensmeyer. Number 15, Max Herder. Number 21, Taylor Stormberg. Number 30, Cole Martin. And now, all of you are welcome to receive the state championship trophy. Congratulations to the Junior Jays of Creighton Prep High School, the 2009 Class A state basketball champions.
This was the lowest scoring Class A championship since 1945. You have to go back 64 years, and ironically on that day, Creighton Prep was the winner too. They beat Scotts Bluff 33-23. This is the second lowest scoring final in all classes in at least the last 20 years. I'm doing some quick research, but in Class D1, Spencer Napier beat Howells 32-31 in 2003. So that was lower scoring than this. But it just gives you an idea of how much of a struggle it was offensively for both teams. But as we mentioned, also give some credit to the defensive effort as well, as both teams really sealed things off today. And the interior presence of Scott Chris doing a number on Jake Marvin, keeping him away from the basket and keeping Southwest from using the one size advantage that they had. Could not really effectively use it here today in the state finals, as Creighton Prep wins it 34-31. The runner-up coach, Dwayne Bach, is with Dan Hedman.
Coach, you had a shot there at the end. Bring me through that.
Well, you know, we were just trying to get some looks, and, you know, we did. We got 3 or 4 there, whatever, and it just didn't go in the hole.
Drew Edmonds, the one takes the shot there. Is that how it was drawn up?
It was drawn up for him to take the shot if he's open or kick in the corner, either strong or weak. And, you know, Drew took the shot, and it just didn't go in. I mean, the kids played their butts off. You know, I mean, what else can you say? You got to give hats off to Prep for a good game.
Shot 25%. Is that more Prep or more you guys?
It's probably a combination of both. You know, you're not going to go out and tear the nets up every game. You know, they play pretty good defense, and we just couldn't get the ball to go in the hole very well today.
Finally, I mean, just the run that you guys put together this year, this is the furthest that school's ever been.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. The senior leaders that we've got on this team have done a tremendous job of leading this team, and I can't ask for anything more from them. They just did a tremendous job this year, and everybody contributed off the bench, too. It was a great group of kids.
Thanks very much, Coach. Good season.
Thank you.
All right, we'll step aside real quick, come back with your Class A champions, Omaha Creighton Prep.
Live coverage of the 2009 NSAA State High School Basketball Championships is brought to you in part by Nebraska Relay, a service that facilitates telephone conversations between Nebraskans who are deaf, hard of hearing, or speech impaired, and friends, family, and businesses. To connect, dial 711 or visit NebraskaRelay.com. Brought to you by Nebraska Furniture Mart in Omaha, with 450,000 square feet of furniture, flooring, appliance, and electronics bargains all in one store. It's worth the trip. Southeast Community College offers more than 50 technical and academic transfer programs. Train for a new skill or retrain for an existing one. SCC provides hands-on learning.
Our first job is to get as close as possible to the verifiable truth. When I talk to people, I'm talking to people who are excited about their knowledge, who are passionate about their experience. Why people trust us? Because we trust the people.
Each year, we all wish for that great-looking garden or the best-tasting tomato. Hi, I'm Kim Todd, host of Backyard Farmer. Join me and a panel of UNL Extension experts each week as we answer your lawn and garden questions. You'll find out how to get rid of it, keep it, grow it, do it better than ever with help from Backyard Farmer. Plus, Backyard Farmer Extra answers all of your email and your letters.
Coming in April to NET1.
(34-31), Creighton Prep defeating Lincoln Southwest. A little bit more research. I was only able to find 5 other state finals that had lower total points since that Creighton Prep 1945 victory over Scotts Bluff that had less points scored total than this one did. Credits to the defense, and let's take a look at those numbers. If you're a fan of offensive basketball, please turn away. But if you love defense, look at that, 26% from the floor, where the Silverhawks just 2 of 15 from beyond the arc. Rebounds, Silverhawks winning that edge, but they did commit more turnovers. Individually, nobody ended up in double figures. 8 points for Max Herder, I beg your pardon, to lead the state champions from Prep. 9 points for Jake Marvin, including 12 rebounds. Let's go backstage. Creighton Prep will hoist the banner for the 11th time in school history, and here's their head coach along with Kevin Suits.
Coach, you're just joking with your team. 2 for 15 from beyond the arc.
Yeah,
it wasn't the day offensively, but you still get the championship.
We got the championship. It wasn't a pretty game. It was an ugly game, but both teams battled all the way to the very end. And we did some good things in the fourth quarter that really got us going a little bit once we figured to try and get to the basket a little bit. But like I said, it was a great championship game. It wasn't an offensive game, but I thought 2 teams really fought it hard, and I think our kids did a good job, always believing they were going to win, never thinking anything other than that.
Just talk about the defensive performance, especially in the fourth quarter. You really made sure Southwest stayed off the scoreboard for about a 6-minute span.
Well, defensively, we always thought we've been pretty good all year, and we've always said if we can keep them under, 48, we got a chance to win, and they did an outstanding job today. I thought the big factor was the big fella, Scott, coming in, Chris, and really setting the tone, getting some rebounds, because once we started out rebounding them and contesting some shots, they really struggled.
Southwest has the basketball down by 3, going to play for the final shot. What was the defense that you had set up? How did that play out in your eyes?
Well, we thought about fouling them, but we figured with that there wasn't a lot of time on, so we figured if we could get some pressure on the guy once he caught it, that we could contest the shot, and if he made it, it was probably a pretty good shot that he made. But I never thought about fouling him. I just said let's go play defense, get a hand up, and then rebound.
The tradition continues at Prep, yet another state championship. How does this one compare to any of the previous ones, and what does it mean to bring another one back to the Creighton Prep community?
Well, I think for the basketball program it means a lot because it's our first since '94. We've been close in 2005. We felt like we had some pretty good teams in 2006, 2007, 2008, and we just quite didn't get it done down here. But I'm so happy for these guys because this is what it's about. It's these guys right here that we're thrilled for, we're happy for, and like we said, Prep's got a great tradition. This will add to it, and hopefully for years to come.
Coach, congratulations. Let's bring in some of these guys. We'll start with Nick Davis, who finished with 4 points. Nick, just talk about what it means to win a state championship.
Oh man, it's great. We've been working hard for this all year, and to finally get one, it means everything for us. I mean, we just love it. We're so excited.
You guys really pride yourself on some defense, don't you?
Oh yeah, yeah. Coach sets a goal, 48 points every game, and we've been keeping that pretty much every game all year. And to play defense like this, it's what we've been working on.
You ever think that you would hold Southwest to just 31?
Well, 31 is really low. Yeah. I didn't see that being the final score of the game, but I knew we could hold them. I knew we could win this game.
Good, Nick. Thank you. Congratulations. Up next, Taylor Stormberg from Creighton Prep finished with 7 rebounds. Just talk about this game. You guys got that lead there in the second half and hung on to it.
Yeah. I mean, we were excited to be here from the start. And coming out, first half was brutal. It was pretty ugly. We thought that we played probably our worst half all year, and so we wanted to come out and show them what we really had.
How do you shoot through that? When you see the shots are not falling, you know, what goes through your mind, and how do you keep playing and keep pressing?
It's just tough to see. You keep shooting. You shoot one, you miss, and you got to come back down, and you get another wide open look. You don't want to shoot, but you got to keep going through it. We found a way to get easy buckets since our threes weren't falling today.
Good, Taylor, thank you. Congratulations. Up next, we'll bring in Caleb Steffensmeyer. Caleb with some opportunities at the free throw line. Just talk about at the very end there with Southwest.
I was nervous, you know. There's a screen in back that kind of catches your eye the whole time, and that really got to me, you know. But I shouldn't have let it. But it was good. It was nervous.
Yeah, can you just talk about that at the very end, though? What's said in the huddle, knowing that Lincoln Southwest has a chance to maybe tie this game up and send it into overtime?
Yeah, we just needed to D it up and made sure they didn't score. And we thought about fouling, but then it didn't work early in the year against Burke when they did it. So we kept playing D and didn't let them score. When
you see that shot miss and the buzzer sounds, what goes through your mind?
All joy. Just ran to the bench, jumped up, and started hugging each other, and it was amazing.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Up next, Maxwell Herter. Max with a good performance, 8 points. Those backdoor cuts in the second half, that was part of that big run that gave you guys the lead, both coming out of a stoppage of play. Was that the exact way the play was drawn up?
It was a design play. We call it check and just throw to the high post and backdoor. They were overplaying us, so we thought we could get them backdoor.
Did you get a sense that, you know, that would maybe give you guys that lead that you'd be able to hang on to at the time?
Well, we thought so. I mean, our shots weren't falling, so we had to go towards the basket, and we were playing good defense all game, so we figured if we got a couple buckets, then we could finish it off, and so.
Good, Max. Thank you. Congratulations. We'll bring in Brett Potter now. 6 points, 4 rebounds for Brett. None of the numbers really all that outstanding today. A defensive game. 65 total points is one of the lowest scoring games in all of the state championship history. So, hey, but you get the championship. That's the bottom line, regardless how you slice it.
It's a lot prettier after. It's a lot prettier if you come out on top.
Yeah, just talk about the defensive performance from you guys today, and then, you know, getting to bring one of those back home.
We needed it. We haven't had one since '94. And we've been here, we just haven't been able to close it, so we finally got it.
Was that the goal today, or this entire season? Was this the goal, winning the state championship? And when did it maybe become a reality and realize that, you know, it's within your grasp?
Oh, this has been our goal the whole time, but we've been taking it one step at a time, one game at a time, just staying focused on the task at hand.
Good run at the state tournament, too.
Oh, yeah.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Talk about that experience those 3 days.
It wears on you. Our court isn't as big as this one, obviously, and 3 games in a row, you get used to it during the summer, but having a whole year off it gets tough on your legs, but we fought through it.
Brett, thank you. Congratulations again, the Class A champs. The title's headed back to the Omaha area yet again. Congratulations, Creighton Prep winning the Class A title. That is the end of the first session here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Be sure to join us at 5 p.m. when we return to the Devaney for the second session. It starts with Class C1, then they'll be followed by Class B and Class D1 as the nightcap. Until then, for John Bishop and Dan Hedman, I'm Kevin Suits. We'll see you again back here at 5 p.m.
Coverage of the 2009 NSAA State High School Basketball Championships has been brought to you in part by Nebraska Community Colleges, the Nebraska Catholic Conference, One Oak Energy Marketing, Nebraska Relay, Southeast Community College, Nebraska Furniture Mart, and by Concordia University.